Good morning, Rabbi Sai. Lili nishmasi mimirosi rusmas Mordechai. Hayoim shnayim v'esrim yoim sheim shlisha shavuos v'yoim echad ba'omer or la'omer. Because of the amazing daf that we have coming up, we aren't going to read many emails during the daf in France tour while traveling on a bullet train from Paris to Marseille. Marvin Diamond, Subis, Daf Beis. I just want to get this individual's name. Here. Rabbi Sai. We have a lot of pictures like this, but I want to elaborate slightly, and then we're going to move on to the daf. So we all learn the daf, and some of us learn it when we have more time, less time, at a ball game, not a ball game. But there are times when you just have a few moments here and there, and let's say you're a bus driver, and passengers are coming up and loading, unloading, getting on the bus, off the bus. So a typical person stares out the window, looks at the people that are coming on the bus. Rabbi Isa, I want to introduce you to Moshe Braun. He's the B&H driver. He's driving the Olam to work. And here he is, the door open, pulls out his Gemara, and he learns the daf. Now, if you're wondering what his license plate looks like, I want to show this. This is him. Amaritz. He's original. And then I think he even showed the picture where he got into an accident. This car was in an accident. All right. Otherwise, here we go. The Koilel, sponsored by Anonymous from Lakewood. The Masechah sponsored by myself. The Lifshutz Menachem Toporowitz. Menachem Mendel, Yebelach, Arukim, Yehושע Doiv. Lifshutz Zchariah Bas Yosef. Another sponsor of the month, the Entire MDY Family. Lifshutz Avraham Menashe ben Aharon Moshe. Parnas HaChodesh, Lifshutz Zechariah ben Moshe. Parnas HaChodesh, Refuah Shleimah, Rav Eli ben Zissel Devorah. Parnas HaYoim, the Lifshutz Family, Lifshutz Bennenu Hayakar, Avigador Avraham Lifshutz, his second Yartzeit TODAY, Zayin by Shprintzy and Alan Gross. I saw Alan in Borough Park in memory of the Yartzeits of our grandmother and aunt, Shprintzy Bas Rabbi Yosef, Yosef, Eliahu Shalom, and Fruma Bas Rabbi Yamin Alevi, Eliahu Shalom. And Refuah Shleimah for Leah Bas Fega. And the art of the month for complete Refuah for Chaim Tzvi Ben Leah Rabbi Sai. Here we go. To do a quick recap of some of the stuff that we learned yesterday, not all of it. We'll see a lot of it. So, actually I could go like this. It might be easier like this. Okay, let's do this. Yeah? Good. Roishoy, not Ruboy. So we learn like this. Very, very simple. A navatuma, like a sheretz, a dead mouse, is mitama, a person, and a kli. If you touch the sheretz to a person, the person becomes tameh. What does he become? One level less, you always go down one less. So avatuma creates a rishon. That rishon, what does that rishon do? It could make a sheni in chulin. It could take simple fruit that has no kedusha to it. It's not given to the kohen. Nice regular fruit makes it a sheni. That fruit in return, what could it do? Not much. It's very weak. It's already a sheni. It could be metama truma. Truma is very sensitive. It's given fruit that's given to the kohen. So a sheni could be metama truma and make it a shlishi. How do we know this? We learned yesterday from a kavachomer from a tvul yoim. We don't have a pasuk. Kavachomer from tvul yoim according to the Gemara yesterday. According to Rebbe Kiva, pasuk. Rebbe Kiva even holds that a sheni can make a shlishi in chulin. That shlishi, that truma that just became a shlishi, what could it do? It can't make other truma tameh. It could make shalom aleichem. It could make other kachim tameh. It can make a carbon kachim. It can make it from a shlishi. It goes down one madrega to a revi. How do we know that? The same kind of kavachomer that we have from a tvul yoim. This time, kavachomer from a chusar kippurim. What's a mechusar kippurim? A person is tameh. Either he's a zav, a zava, she gave birth, or Yeledes, or a Motsei, 4 people only. At the end of whatever process they have to go through, they go to the mikvah. They go into the mikvah, a lot of their tumah dissipates and disappears. Most of their tumah goes away. They come out of the mikvah, they are a tvul yom. It's a very weak tumah. A tvul yom could make truma possible, but that's about it. Then comes nightfall. Nightfall gets rid of the tvul yom status. Now, if you're a Motsei, if you're just a regular balkeri, whatever it is, now you're tar completely. But if you were a Motsei, zav yeledes, now you have to wait until the next morning to bring a carbon in the Beis Hamikdash. Until that point, if you don't bring the carbon for 20 days, you're in a status called mechusar kippurim. You're missing the carbon. And what could you do? Not much when it comes to truma, chulin, anything. You're very, very weak, but you could mess up kachim. How do I know this? Okay, so here's the kavachomer that we saw yesterday. Mechusar kippurim, he touches truma, what happens? Nothing, nada, nothing. But when he touches kachim, he has the ability to passel it. Again, what does the word pasel mean and what does the word tumah mean? Tumah means that it's strong enough that it could do something else, could create more damage down the line. Pasel means this is the end of the line. That's it. It itself is not edible. If you're a kohen and you want to eat this carbon, you cannot because it's pasel. It's a reveal tumah. But if you take that carbon that's on those rocks, on that stage, and you touch it to something else, nothing happens. What? Who said? What? Oh, paradoma. That's something else. We're not talking about paradoma today. Or usually, it's very rare that we even get there. Veda bracha. I hear. Okay, fine. To be more exact, but not to be mebal. Fine. So, yesterday we learned, so says Rabbi Yossi, this is where we were holding Be'erach. We even did the answer to this. Just we have to recap because we stopped in the middle of Sugya, but it doesn't hurt to recap this stuff. This is considered the highest level of learning, the hardest type of learning, and we basically finished it. Whatever, we have another Amud. But that's it. So, Mechusar Kippurim, that touches a chulin, truma, nothing happens. If a Mechusar Kippurim touches kachim, something happens. So you see he's weak. A Mechusar Kippurim is weak. He can't make truma change status at all. This is an X. So Mela, truma that is already a shlishi, it's already tamei. He's more chamor. So certainly if you take that piece of truma, that orange, that has tumah inside of the orange, it's a shlishi, certainly that shlishi can make a carbon tamei. That's what we said. Okay? Says Rabbi Yochanan, I don't understand your kavachomer. I have a guy called Tvul Yom, Yossi Klein, who touches truma. What happens? If a Tvul Yom touches truma, it does become tamei. And that's it. That truma can't make something else. Can't make the kachim tamei. So your raya is off. Something's off with what you're saying. I don't know exactly, but what you're saying doesn't make sense, says Rabbi Yochanan. What do you bring me a raya, a kavachomer from Mechusar Kippurim? Here I have a case called Tvul Yom. It's basically the same thing as the center case. A shlishi of truma, which Rabbi Yossi wants to say logically could make a kachim a revi. And here I have a case, straight out case, a Tvul Yom touches a piece of truma and it becomes a shlishi puzzle, and that shlishi puzzle cannot continue on and do any damage to kachim when you're a Tvul Yom. So what are you going to do with that? So Gemara brings, now we're here, the Sanya. We have a three-way machlokes. What does a Tvul Yom do? How strong is he? How tamei is a Tvul Yom? What do we always understand until today? What do we understand? How strong is a Tvul Yom? Sheni, very good. Because we said a Tvul Yom can make a Truma, a Shlishi puzzle. That means he himself is a Sheni. Not so fast. We have a three-way machloikas, how strong he is. Here we have Abba Shaul. The one and the two ignore. I put that in there, so it's not as beautiful as Yoshi would like it. But here, Abba Shaul holds that a Tvul Yom is a Rishon. He's very severe. He has very, very big powers. So what could a Rishon do? Make a Sheni, who makes a Shlishi, who makes a Revi. A Rishon is all the way in the beginning of the line. If you're only a Sheni, so then you can only make a Shlishi and a Revi. Revi is the end of the line. And if you're a Shlishi, all you can do is a Revi, one. That's the three-way machlokes. Here it is. The Gemara just says, I can make two Tameh, one puzzle. And that makes a lot of sense, because look, a Sheni can make a Shlishi, and a Shlishi, which is Tameh, meaning it can continue going on. We said Tameh means it could make something else Tameh. Puzzle means the end of the line. So over here, the Rishon made the first carbon a Sheni, which is a Tameh, because he went on and made something else a Shlishi, one level lower. But that guy now who made the final carbon puzzle, that's the end of the line, so he makes one puzzle and two Tamehs. It's just a confusing way to say it, but it's just very simple. A Rishon makes a Sheni makes a Shlishi, and a Shlishi makes a Revi. Next Shita is Remeir, so we just took one out. Remeir says he's not a Rishon in Tvul Yom. Tvul Yom is a Sheni. So Remeir, he makes a Shlishi, and he makes one Tameh and one puzzle. And Chachamim say a Tvul Yom is only a, we'll call him a Shlishi just for argument's sake. And Memela, he does one thing only, he makes a puzzle. Ask the Gemara, based on this, you see the Chachamim hold that a Tvul Yom doesn't do anything. Tvul Yom has the ability to make one thing puzzle. That's it. He can't make a Shlishi who makes a Revi. He makes a Revi. That's it. If he made a Shlishi, if he touched something, that would be the end of the line for that. There's no second tumah from a Tvul Yom. So that's a kash on Rabbi Yossi, because Rabbi Yossi holds that a Tvul Yom is strong enough that it can continue on. Tvul Yom makes a Shlishi, and that Shlishi continues on and makes a Revi. But according to Chachamim, which Rabbi Yossi l'chayra holds like, you see that he's very weak. He can only do one thing, puzzle. That's it, end of the line. There's nothing past that. What's going to be the answer, maybe? Who said he holds like Chachamim? Maybe he holds like Remeir or Abba Shaul, that he has a lot more power than you're giving him. Let's see inside. So I don't know if we have to go back. I'll just do it as we're reading it because you all know what it means. Abba Shaul says that a Tvul Yom is actually a Rishon. So therefore, what could he do? L'tam shnayim, he can make a Sheni and a Shlishi. V'lifshel echad, and he can make one Revi. Rabbi Meir Oimer, metama echad. I'm just going slow because I'm waiting for the slide to change. Metama echad, upaisel echad. He's a Sheni, therefore he can make a Shlishi, which is one Tameh. And that Shlishi is Tameh, he could continue on and make a Revi. But the Revi could only do one Revi, one paisel. One Revi, one Metama, one paisel. Okay. This is the key word right over here. Chachamim hold that when it comes to Truma, what does he create? Paisel. He can't go any further. There is no Revi after that. He's weak. He does a little, he cheppes the Truma. You can't eat the Truma, but the Truma is not strong enough to make a Revi. Umashki Truma and the Truma liquids. Kach paisel achli kodesh umashki kodesh. So this is a problem with Rabbi Yossi. Okay? So, according to Rabbi Yossi, the Shlishi would make a Revi. Mascular Papa, Memai Rabbi Yossi Kirabanon Svirle. Why are you asking me a question from the weakest Shita of Chachamim? Yeah, it makes a lot of sense that the rabbin, whatever. Dilma, Kabashol Svirle. Maybe. Here, I just did a chart real quickly. The question from Rabbi Yossi, this is also not Yoshi, that's why half the chart is missing. Fine. Whatever I was able to do on my own without messing up the animation and stuff, with no animation, fine. Over here you see, Chacham hold that Truma has zero ability to make kachim puzzle. There's an X under the kachim. According to Rabbi Yossi, there would be 2 check marks. That's the kasha. How come Chacham have an X and Rabbi Yossi has a check mark? Okay, so we're saying, well, maybe Rabbi Yossi doesn't hold like Chacham. He holds like Abba Shaul, that look, a Tvul Yom touches this, and that animal has so much tumah in it, it could continue on and make other things tameh. He holds, Okay, fine. It has powers to go on. Says the Gemara, it can't be. Because if Rabbi Yossi holds like Abba Shaul, ask the Gemara a very, very simple question. How do we know that a truma that touches kachim, it becomes revi? How do we know this? From Mechusar Kippurim. How do we know that that you make truma a shlishi from a Tvul Yom? We had 2 Kal V'chayimers yesterday, Tvul Yom and Mechusar Kippurim. All the Gemara is asking, why did you jump to Mechusar Kippurim? Stick with Tvul Yom. Rashi says it has additional benefits. I can learn the halachas like Abba Shaul, whatever. The point is, why did you jump to a new Kal V'chayimer from Mechusar Kippurim? According to what you're telling me, that this when a Tvul Yom touches something, it has a lot of power in it and can make more tumas. Now I can learn from Mechusar Kippurim, from Tvul Yom, the halacha that kachim becomes a revi. Why do I need to jump to Mechusar Kippurim for that? According to you, that it has so much tumah in it, stick with Tvul Yom. Okay, simple question. Why did I jump to a second Kal V'chaymer yesterday? I could have used the same Tvul Yom as my Kal V'chaymer. The what? Am I losing you, Mendy? You sure? You look for trach, the shtickle. Okay, good. I don't want to lose anybody. This is very simple stuff. Let me know when it gets hard. No, we have some gata on Amud Beis. Please, calm down. Let's get them out. Oh, we're still early. Usually we don't start cheer yet. He's doing chazar already. Right? The Tvul Yom who touches a regular orange, nothing happens to it. According to you, according to your logic, not what we really believe, but according to your logic right now, you're telling me a Tvul Yom who touches a carbon, it becomes puzzle. But it doesn't have enough power even to make a simple orange tameh. Top of Amud Aleph, shlishi. Haba macham sheni. So a shlishi, which is tameh, because it touched the sheni gufei also bechulin. The sheni is so strong, much stronger than a Tvul Yom, that it is itself also bechulin. And it did shows revi b'kodesh. I don't have to. Bekitzer, bottom line is, why am I going to Mechusar Kippurim? I can say the same Kal V'chaymer from Tvul Yom. So anyways, what do you see here? The Rebbe holds that food that became tameh from its Tvul Yom doesn't make a revi. Says the Gemara, V'chi teima. Oh no, he's saying that it could. What? Exactly. So you can't say that it goes like Abba Shaul. V'chi teima mishum dikil mifrach. Maybe you say, oh, I have a pircha that we used yesterday, and let's use it today. Mishum dikil mifrach malat Tvul Yom shikein avatuma. You know, Tvul Yom is special because he himself is the originator of Tumah. Wait a minute. When you had a Kal V'chaymer from Mechusar Kippurim, there is no greater Avat Tumah, originator of Tumah, than a Mechusar Kippurim. Again, a Mitzaira, the Mitzaras is in his body. Zav Zada Yeledes, they're all from within their body. So all Mechusar Kippurim, and you didn't ask any questions like that, so it's not a good question. Weiter. Now, Rabbi, so all we're doing right now is, in the Mishnah we said that a sheni, here let me show you. Hold on. Okay. Check out this thing. This is what we said in the Mishnah. That a sheni that touches chulin becomes tameh. It's another slide. Let me see if I can find those slides. What's the button here? Gershon, do I have a button that shows me all my slides on my thing? I used to have that, no? Only if you have two screens. I don't want to go to that screen. It's coming up soon. It's like three. Yosef, maybe if you could do it. It's the same. It looks the same exact like this, Yosef, but it turns yellow. Okay? You get the idea. That if this sheni bread jumps on top of this chulin, according to Rebbe Kiva, it turns colors. It becomes tamei. And we're going to bring 5 mandamrim now that say that it stays the same, nothing happens. And we paskin like them. The thing is that every one of those mandamrim is a new sugya. One is talking about this, one is talking about that, and we're going to go through all these sugyas real quickly and pick up new musagim in Shas, more halachas, more gishmakis. Omer Rav Asi, Omer Rav. Says Rav. What? Yeah, he just says, listen, he's not slugging him up. He just says, I have a problem with this kavachomer. According to you, there's a good tshuva betida. He says, like there's an answer on the side. Okay, fine. He doesn't know what to do with it. Omer Rav Asi, Omer Rav. Amri Lo, Omer Rav Varisi, Omer Rav. Rabbi Meir is one Tana. Rabbi Yosi is another Tana. Rabbi Yeshua a third. Rabbi Lazar. Rabbi Eliezer. Kulu sfirlu de'ein sheni oisa shlishi b'chulin. That when this bread, which is a sheni, jumps on top of another food that's chulin, nothing happens to that food. We admit that if it's truma, if it's kachim, something happens. I'm talking about chulin now. Oh, I forgot to introduce this guy. We had him before. He's chulin. He's a peer. He's wearing a baseball cap, a New York Yankee baseball cap. He's chewing gum. He's a simple guy, simple yid. He's not a kohen. He's not a truma guy. He's a chulin. Okay, fine. So when sheni touches chulin, he remains a chulin. Let me prove it to you. Meir, this nan. Oh, so we had the famous Mishnah in Shabbos that there was a certain day that Beishamai overtook Zissel. They had more of them, and they made the Shmonasa Dvarim, the 18 Xeris. One of them is Kol aton bias mayim midivri soifrim. If midrabanan you're tamei, mitam zakoydish upoises a truma. What's the classic case of something that's tamei midrabanan? Rabbi Isai? This is the Bucky. Anybody besides the Bucky? Rabbi Steinhardt. Yadayim shniyos. We wash our hands. Why? Because our hands midrabanan. It's a gzeira. They turn them all our hands. This hand is a sheni. I mean, it's much worse. I touched the shares yesterday. Our hands are automatically sheni. Okay. There's other things Rashi brings down. They talk about Moses' body in the mid. Let's call it a hand. What's the halacha? I'll show you a chart real quickly. Here, check out the chart. We have 3 things here. We have a chulin, we have a truma, and we have kachim, right? The 3 things we're discussing all day long. So, hands is a sheni. What happens when a hand, the sheni touches chulin? Tahar. I don't have to go any further. There's a raya that he holds that a sheni does not create a shlishi when it comes to chulin. Because a hand is a sheni, touched in orange, remains tar. We'll just continue the brisa. If the same hand touched truma, what happens? Becomes a shlishi pasul. And if it touched kachim, becomes a shlishi tamei. Meaning, it has enough power to be metama kachim. Okay, fine. But that's not important to us. What's important is the first part, that if a sheni hand touches chulin, nothing happens. Here I have my first mandama that says, not like Rebbe Kiva. And we paskin like this mandamar, like the 5 mandamrim, that a sheni cannot make a shlishi. Fine. Right? Because we always learned, Rebbe Kiva, the halachas like Rebbe Kiva, mechavei roi, mechavei rov, not always, but okay, fine. The what? Sorry. Metamis HaKodesh, upoisel truma, he makes truma pasul. End of the line. And nothing happens to the chulin, but he takes the kodesh, he makes the kodesh tamei. In other words, he takes the kodesh could continue on. Chacham don't argue with the whole thing. They just say when it comes to Meiser Sheni, which I forgot to put the chart in, Meiser Sheni is every years 1, 3. What are the years? 1, 2, 5. 1, 2, 4, 5. I didn't look at the chart for a long time. 3 and 6 is Meiser Ani. 1, 2, 4, 5. Shkoyach. I'm pretending I don't know. I want to see if the Olam knows. This guy knows. Okay, fine. Meiser Sheni, give yourself 10%. If you can't schlep it to Yerushalayim and eat it yourself, you turn it into money, and then when you get to Yerushalayim, you go to any restaurant, fancy restaurant, use the money for your food, for your beer, for your wine, etc. But Chacham say that it passes the Meiser Sheni if you touch it with your hands. Okay, but they agree that a chulin does not become tamei from a sheni. Okay, fine. Next. Rav Yossi is the one that we discussed the whole day today. That what? But what? Say, listen to this. I'll just say about peh. You get it. Not. It's very, very simple. Remeir doesn't know exactly where. Let me see if I have it in a chart here. Oh. Remeir, if we just look at this chart, this is Rabbi Yossi's Kavachomer. If Yossi Klein, who touches an orange, doesn't make it anything, and we're assuming that he can't make the chulin a shlishi, he certainly, but he could make a truma shlishi, and then he goes on to say, but what if chulin does become a shlishi? What if chulin does become a shlishi? So then he would have the same kavachomer. He would have to take it up a step. Chulin cannot make a revi. A tvul yom who touches chulin cannot make it a revi, but he could make truma a revi. Because I don't know what it can make and what it can't make. Again, he's starting that Yossi Klein can't make chulin a shlishi, and therefore, since he could make truma a shlishi, so certainly a sheni can make truma shlishi. That's the kavachomer. But we're starting at a shlishi and comparing it to truma at a shlishi. But what if chulin does become a shlishi when Yossi Klein touches it? We're going to say the same kavachomer, just take it up a step. Chulin, if Yossi Klein touches it, doesn't become a revi. So, but when he touches truma, it does become a revi. So certainly a shlishi bread can make truma revi. But he doesn't say that. The fact that he doesn't say that, he starts lower, that means that chulin that's touched by a tvul yom doesn't become a shlishi. It remains a sheni. Okay, you don't get this? We're going weiter. Nothing happens. But if something did happen, if it did become a shlishi, so we'll just do the same kavachomer up at one darg and keep on going. And then will come out that Mechusar Kippurim is going to teach us the halacha that kachim becomes a chamishi, not a revi. We're just taking it up one level, but nobody said that. We're talking about revis here. Shlishis and revis, not a revi and a chamishi. Therefore, our starting point is that chulin doesn't become a shlishi. Here's another man that says chulin doesn't become a shlishi. Yeshua Disnan, again, one of the xeris with the Rabbanon. The 18 xeris that the Bishamai they found. I don't know if they have that today also. In the Knesset, in the Congress, people are on vacation. Boom, you make some rules real quickly. You get all the Republicans together and they make a law. Nobody's there. They had a day one time in the Aliyah Sagag over there, and the Zissel didn't show up. So Bishamai took advantage. Boom, let's make 18 xeris. What's one of them? If a human being, touches tamei food, what happens to him? 0. Food doesn't have the ability to make a person tamei. You need avatuma to make somebody tamei, not a piece of loaf of bread. They said if you touch a loaf of bread, that's tamei, you become tamei. To what degree and how? We have a little bit of machlokes here. Oichel rishain. Let's say you ate a loaf of bread. That's a rishain. A sheretz touched it. It's a rishain. You turn into a rishain. This is Xer Derabbanan. Usually goes downwards. Over here you're equal. This is Tanakama. Sheni, if you eat a loaf of bread that's a sheni, you turn into a sheni. Shlishi. You eat a loaf of bread that's a shlishi, you become a shlishi. What if you become a shlishi? What happens? If you touch a carbon shlamim, that carbon becomes a revi. If you touch truma and chulin, nothing. Let's understand what happens to you when you become a sheni. When you become a sheni, you can make a shlishi. When you become a shlishi, you yourself are a shlishi, you make a revi. He argues, no, even a rishon, even if you ate a loaf of bread that touched a mouse, you only become a sheni. You go down one madrega. But if you eat a sheni, you're also sheni. Not going into all the reasons. Shlishi, if you eat a shlishi, then you go down. Sheni b'kodesh, v'ein sheni b'truma. B'chol shenasu ataras truma. Kshmak. Just when you thought it's getting easier. Okay, let me show you real quickly. Very, very simple. Not this. You know what? Before I show you, let me ask you a question. How could a person eat a shlishi? If a person eats a shlishi, he does X, Y, Z. What's a shlishi? What's a shlishi? Is it your orange and apple in your house? No. So what is it? It has to be truma. The only shlishi in the world is truma. How could I eat truma that's tameh? If I eat truma that's tameh, I get the death penalty. So I'm going to have a whole sugi about a guy that's some sugar and wants a death penalty? We don't talk about Rishayim. So how did he eat truma shlishi?
But a kohen who's not tameh can't eat truma?
No. You can't touch the truma. No. So you have to burn it. You can't eat it. There's no way out of it. So what do? What's the sugi talking about? Fake truma. Fake. He's pretending it's truma. He's a kohen. He doesn't want to one day eat truma by mistake when he's tameh. He doesn't want any mistakes in his house. I'm going, but that's the highest madrig of everything in my house. Everything is truma. You buy an apple from the store. I'm pretending that it's truma. Here's the picture. He took a piece of chulin on the left and put him a kohen hat and a shmoni begadim, and he put a sign. He called it truma, but it's really chulin. It's fake. It's a fake truma. So if I ate a fake truma, so it's a shlishi. Now what do? How do I act? I have to pretend. I keep on going. Chacham say you have to make sure that this and this happens. Now what? So we stop right over here. What's the problem? I have a pear in my refrigerator that's a shlishi because it touched the loaf of bread that was a sheni. Why does the Gemara have to make up a story that we're talking about? He's pretending that it's truma. Just say it's a real pear that went from a sheni to a shlishi. What's the answer? Because he holds it's impossible. A pear in your refrigerator can never become a shlishi. So here's another mandama that says that sheni doesn't become a shlishi. Truma in atar sakoydish loy alma kasaver ain't sheni oiser shlishi b'chulin. From the fact that I said I'm talking about a pear that's a pretend truma, that means that a sheni cannot become a shlishi. Rebbe Lazar, who's this Tana? The Tanya Rebbe Lazar Oimer Shlotzen Shavim. You have three things that are equal. Here, this is the thing I wanted to show before, but I didn't want to skip ahead. So here it is. That according to Rebbe Kiva, the pear becomes a shlishi, and they argue him it doesn't become a shlishi. Fine, that's the whole sugya now. Whether or not it becomes a shlishi. I almost forgot this. This is what he worked on most of his time. Here's a cannon that shoots food into this guy's mouth. This is the sugya of eating. If you eat a rishon, you become a rishon. You eat a sheni, you become a sheni. So here it is. So because he shot a sheni, here, we'll see in a second, he became a sheni now, and that means that if he touches a person who becomes a sheni, what happens? He can make a shlishi. Not just a shlishi tameh. Because it could go on and make a revi. That if that carbon touches another carbon, it becomes a revi. Now, it just shows you that this is talking about chulin shenasu al taros truma. Not kodesh. It's a little different. Truma. He's a fake truma. He's a chulin, but he's pretending that it's truma. It's chulin that's pretending it's truma. And if it goes into his mouth and he eats it, he turns into a sheni for kachim. What does it mean sheni b'kachim? That if he touches a carbon, it becomes tameh. And then that carbon becomes possible. Yes? You got it? Okay, fine. No. Kachim. Only kachim. Sensitive. More sensitive. Hold on, let's see what it says. Hold on, let's read it together. Bechulin shenas ataras truma. Shlishi sheni bakodesh vein sheni betruma. Ain't sheni betruma. Because it's very weak. It's a very weak tuma. It's pretend truma. So just we told him be careful with kachim in it. Okay. Fine. Rebbe Lazar, the sign of Rebbe Lazar, Shloshim Shavim. There's three things that are equal. That what? I have three foods that were touched by a dead mouse. One of them was kachim, a carbon. One of them was truma. One of them was a regular orange. So what happens? That we had here. I just stole this from Yoshi, and it's not the prettiest, but a Rishon creates a Sheni and a Shlishi and a Revi puzzle. Here. So also this he didn't do. I don't want to ruin his reputation. Okay, if it's a little off the art and this and that. You have a Rishon. When it comes to chulin, what could a chulin do? And this is our question, not a question, this is a raya. What could a Rishon do? This animal, whatever it is, I don't know if it's kachim or not. This thing is a Rishon, it touched a rat. What kind of damage could it do to a regular apple in your refrigerator? It could make it puzzle, that's it. But according to you, according to Rebbe Kiva, it should become a shlishi. No, it doesn't, it's a very weak tumah. This is what we want. Fine. Rabbi Isai, here a little bit of a demonstration real quickly. I don't know. Okay, put this over here. I have another. Yesterday we did a rat. Today we're going to do a snake. Live. If you don't like snakes, you can leave now. Okay, very, very pashut. Here, do me a favor. Take these out. This is my mouse. You don't have to leave. Okay. This is my mouse. Fine. We're talking about dough now. Dough. So when you make dough, you make bread, you have to take challah off. Challah is truma. Okay? Time of Beis Hamikdash, you gave that challah to a kohen. Just like you give some of your apples to the kohen, you gave challah to a kohen. So, what did I say? No snakes, no snakes. Steaks. Who said snake? I said snake. Okay, Rabbi Isai, here goes. This is real dough. I made it, whatever. I didn't make it. I stole it. My wife doesn't have sour bread for Shabbos. No, she gave me rishus. How much of this do I have to take challah? 1/24th. Yeah, maybe it's kedai to shut the machines now. 1/24th. If you are a baker, you take 1/48th, which is half. The shiur, we're not going to go into it. The rice, you need a 2.2 kilo according to Chazanish, high things, 5 pounds. People are machmer to say with the bracha. But even if you make a small amount, you have to be mafresh challah without a bracha. But you have to be mafresh challah. I have a trick. I have a trick. This woman doesn't want to give challah. Look at this. She's going to make challah for her family. She has 10 kids. I have a trick. She has this ready-made sheretz, and she touches the challah. She touches her dough. Sorry, the dough. Dough that becomes tameh by b'shaygeg, you go to the lower shear. You don't have to take so much. You don't have to take 1/24th because it's going into the garbage anyways. What's the point? Take 1/48th. She's a chacham. She goes, takes the mouse, the dead sheretz, touches the dough. Now she only is chayav 1/48th. Say chachamim, no. Hold on. Right? Say chachamim, we're going to go into all that. I need all these guys out, please. Here. There's nothing in here. Here, okay, fine. Say chachamim, so what does she do? She touched the sheretz is avatuma. The dough just became what? A rishon. So here, it became a rishon. Say chachamim, no. What you need to do is you have to give 1/24th. You didn't, you have to pay the regular price. Says Rebbe Eliezer, no, much worse than that. We're going to force her now to take this dough, put it on the side over here. Oh, yeah, I should have thought about this before. And she has to make another dough. Punish her. She has to make another dough. And from this dough right over here, she has to take challah for this, from this dough. But we have halacha, Rabbi Eli, we have halacha that the doughs have to touch each other. It has to be mukaf. How could this dough touch this dough? Let's say I touch it, so this dough becomes a sheni. I can't give it to the kohen anymore. I'm supposed to give my challah to the kohen. I can't burn it in the oven like we do today. So I lose. So what do? Murdik idea. Look at this. I take a little guy. This is a bridge. A bridge. Here, you got a bridge. Take a bridge. And I take off this from here. So this is tahar dough. I touch it over here. I'm sorry. I touch it to this guy. This guy could go away, okay? I made another dough, fine. Now, I touch it to this. And my challah, which I remove from this guy, take from here, and now it touches over here. They all touch. So now I have mukaf. This is a rishon. What does this become? The bridge? A sheni. Otazeh. Sheni. And what does this become? Does it become a shlishi? That's the raya. If this doesn't become a shlishi, so now we know that a sheni can't make a shlishi. We have another manah that says a sheni doesn't make a shlishi.
The second dough has to touch as well.
But there's one little thing here I got to tell you. I don't take challah. I put them together, and then I say, this is challah. But at the time that I say this is challah, it can't be touching. Why? Because challah is what? Truma. And truma does become a shlishi. Remember? Truma does become a shlishi. So I got to move it away. I put it, and I say, I want to make this challah, and move it away. Now let's see the Gemara, because there's a few more details here. Wait, 3 more minutes. What second dough? What second dough? No. This one I'm not getting into. This I could take challah later. I don't have a problem. Take challah later. I wasn't mafresh. I'll take a second challah. Also, another problem. What if I take challah on this first? I say, okay, this is challah, and this is great. And then I take another piece and try to patter this up. It's not going to work. Because it's patter on this is already patter from challah. I can't use it on something that's chayiv and challah. Okay. Let's see it inside. Rabbi Eli. I don't know if I need my glove anymore. Says the Gemara. We have plenty of time. What are you going to do? These are sugyas. We are 5 lines from the bottom. You can take from the good dough on the tummy dough. You have 2 doughs. You take the challah from the tummy one, from the tar one. Here, this guy, is this guy a pachas mikabeitza? More than a beitza? Not important to our sugi right now. Real quickly, there's a lady here in Mabet Shemesh, a famous caterer, and somebody asked her, how do you take challah from all the doughs and everything that you make with the mukaf? Mina mukaf, how do you? She goes, what's challah? Maisa shahaya, what's challah? And from that day on, I'm not joking, people said, listen, we got to be a lot more serious with giving hechsherim to people that make things out of their home. She didn't know. She didn't go to religious schools. She didn't know what challah was. She was a very big tzaddik. She only bought batats ingredients. Seriously. Top stuff. She just didn't know what challah was. Maisa shahaya here in Bet Shemesh. What? She didn't know you make challah and cakes, says Reb Shomer. You corrected me last time also. Don't think I'm going to remember that. Okay, she didn't know you take challah and cake. Fine, the story now makes a lot more sense. But the story that we know, fine. There's 3 seconds left, 8 o'clock. Greg Haber, for Bracha Atzlocha, Parnosa Brius, for my entire family, Rav Eli, and everyone learning the daf. The Chacham Maisrim, Chacham say it doesn't work. Forget it. Vitanya Kebeitza. Okay, so we have another. What is this? This one. We have another price. It's not pachais. This middle piece is a full beitza. There's a difference if it's able to be metama something else. In order to be metama other food, it has to be a full kibetza. Even a full kibetza, I don't care. It won't go on to the third piece of dough. Says Gemara, idi v'idi be'isa rishayna. You see? Oh, savrua. They thought Idividi bisa rishona. We're talking about a rishon l'tumah. In other words, a sheretz touched us. V'chulin atfulin l'chala loy kechala damu. And this third piece right over here is not considered chala yet. It's not truma yet. It's just simple chulin. Even though I want it to become chala, I just said I'm going to make it chala. I didn't make it chala. So here we have a manda omar that this middle guy who is a sheni, I was afraid it's going to start falling. Here, this is a sheni, cannot make this guy. Do I have a shlishi sign or no? Yes. I do have a shlishi. Okay, here. It does not become a shlishi. I don't want to confuse anybody. It doesn't become a shlishi. So we'll put it down. We'll put it upside down. Okay. That's the machlokes chacham say it does become a shlishi, and therefore they say this trick doesn't work. Here we have all the madram are going to hold. It doesn't create a tumah to the third piece of dough. The machlokes is, since I decided on my own that this is going to be chala, so it automatically has a halach of a truma. If it has a halach of a truma, it becomes tamei. Why? Because this guy is a sheni. Or no, it's not a problem. That's machlokes masova kechal domi, masova lav kechal domi. Or you can learn pshat. Okay, none of these problems. Sheni doesn't make a shlishi. It's only in your head that you want to make a chalas. It's not a problem. Can I take this centerpiece, this guy, and touch it to the tamei dough? This came from a tar dough. It's touching now this. This just became tamei. What's the problem? In general, everybody agrees you can't do that. It's also to make something tamei on purpose. But over here, I'm doing it for a purpose. I want to fix all my dough. I have a nice amount of dough here. I'm a baker, whatever. Even from Gamliel, Rashi says straight out. Rabbi Eliezer also holds Yinali be goyim tuma, but over here, Litzarich, maybe he holds it's mutter. Should we do a little bit of that gata? 3 minutes. Let's go. So if you remember, in the Mishnah, we had a contradiction in the psukim. On the one hand, it says that the Batei or Leviim had 1,000 amma around them. The cities of the Leviim had 1,000, and then it says 2,000. Rabbi Kiva says they only had 1,000. The 2,000 is to teach us the famous halach of Tchum Shabbos. What's Tchum Shabbos? You're only permitted to walk 2,000 amma from your house, from the outskirts of the city. 2,000 amma. I have a trick. Well, you don't even need to come onto the trick. The tchum, you put a eruv tchumim at the 2,000 point, and that becomes your new house. You shift where you lived. So now where your chal is your house, from there you have another 2,000 amma, that's 4,000 amma. But the idea that you can only walk 2,000 amma, says Rebbe Kiva, I learned it in the pasuk. Everybody argues with Rebbe Kiva. He holds, I learned from the pasuk. The other man, the Omer, holds, no, the pasuk is telling us this, as we remember, that there's 1,000 amma of open fields, which beautifies the city, and another 1,000 amma where you can plant trees and everything. That's what we give the Levim. Oh, sorry. Rebbe Kiva holds the idea of tchum is the raiso, marsav the rabbanon, it's only the rabbanon. Ton rabbanon. That day the Rebbe Elazar ben Azai became a nasi. Sha'alu Yisrael menayom nosnu the name Leima Shira. How did they say Shira? Ketzadam Shira. Kigodol Hamakra Eshalel Vehein Oinem Achav Roshi Prakim. That everything that he says, they say Hallelujah. If you look in Rashi is goris here. The word, whatever. Mamish is goris Hallelujah here. You see? Kigodol Hamakra Eshalel Vehein Oinem Achav Roshi Prakim Hallelujah. So some put it in, my Gemara puts it in Hallelujah as if it's part of Rashi saying it, or maybe that's how he's goris the sugya. The Rambam says that, according like these Teimanim that say Hallelujah, they say it 123 times, the word Hallelujah. The Chazan says, they say one, Moshe Amar Shiur Lashem, but why do they say Hallelujah? Because that's the very first word of the first paragraph of Hallel. So you keep on going through the whole. What's the very first paragraph of Oz Yasser? Ashir Lashem. So every time Moshe Rabbeinu said a couple of words, they say Ashir Lashem. Ashir Lashem, Ashir Lashem, Ashir Lashem. Moshe Amaki go go. In Oimrim, Ashir Lashem. In the Churva in Yerushalayim, that's how they do Ishanas. The Chazan says Ishanas. It's very, very convenient. Nobody has to schlep a siddur. You just hold your little answer, Hoshana, and he says Hoshana. Everybody says Ishana. That's it. Have a shaila. We have the idea of shomei ka'ina. Shomei ka'ina. So why can't they just be quiet? Here Moshe Rabbeinu say the shira and weiter gegangen. So we see that in Shemona Esrei every single day. Shemona Esrei, we listen to the chazan and chazan shatz. All we do is amen. We don't say any words. When do we say? One thing we say, moedim. Because to say hakar satayv and to say thank you to somebody and to the Rebbeinu Shalom, you have to say it with your mouth. So they said, Ashir Lashem, Ashir Lashem. Like the children's. Oh, I skipped. But they have the waiting for shachars. A cotton can't be shemekar and he can't be moitzi anybody. He says some words and everybody says all the words. And the Marsha explains the reason why everybody said all the words and they didn't want to be yaitz for Moshe Rabbeinu just saying that to show the chavivus the Klal Yisrael to say Shiur Ta'akadosh Baruch Hu. Moshe Amar Shir Hashem ve'en oimrim Shir Hashem. Moshe Amar Ki Goy Gov ve'en oimrim Ki Goy Gov. They said every single word that Moshe Rabbeinu said. You know what? We'll stop over here. Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful Shabbos. What time Motsei Shabbos? What time is Motsei Shabbos? I haven't been around. What time is Motsei Shabbos? What time is Ma'ariv? 9:30 Beis Hashem. 9:30 Shiur Motsei Shabbos. Shleimah. Thank you.